Hey guys, it's TT coming at ya. Why am I so obnoxious? Oh my gosh. Okay, that wasn't a real intro, I promise. I'm sorry. Don't unsubscribe. Stop. Hey, I see you. I see you trying to exit out my video. I'm looking at you. You don't stop. You go in. Okay. Hey guys, it's Tamara, but you can call me TT because all my friends call me TT or T or Tammy or I got a lot of nicknames. I know. And this is my first ever YouTube video, and I'm gonna be real with you and tell you that I already filmed hold on, I gotta fix my hair. It looks atrocious. I have no idea if you think that's better, but I mean, I kind of think it's better. So we're going with it. I already filmed this video before. Literally like an hour ago, but my dad was here and he was making an exorbitant amount of noise because he did not care about me filming a YouTube video. He did not care about my life, honey. He didn't. So maybe I'll insert some clips. Probably won't. I'm too lazy for that. I'm really just trying to get this video up because I already said I filmed this and I did film it and the video didn't work. All you need to know is the video didn't work out. So this is what I'm coming at you with now, all right? I'm my same animated self on YouTube that I am in real life. So if you want to, keep watching and see the story time about how this table literally screwed me over on my first day as a waitress, keep watching. So it's my first day as a waitress, pretty much, and ever. It's my first day, like, off of training. So I have my first table is a 6 top. My first table is 6 people. And I'm just like, I'm up for a challenge. So I get the 6 top and it's like 2 grown men in like business clothes. Like look like they came straight out of the city from a business meeting talking about some e-commerce or something. Like they look like they just stepped out of somewhere, like full on loafers, suits, ties, whole shebang. And they sit down and I'm like, I thought this was a party of 6. Why is there only 2 people here? So then I go over, I greet them the way that I was instructed to greet them. And then I'm like, hey guys, my name is Tamara. I'll be taking care of you. Can I get you anything to drink? Can I read you some of like the beers we have? Blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, oh, what beers do you have? So literally I have to go and, hold on, wait. Oh. When you realize that the tag is still on your shirt. I got my checkbook, literally got my checkbook because like I'm extra. So these are all the beers we have. So literally they were like, oh, can you read the list? And I was like, okay, but I'm being nice because this is my first table, can't make a bad impression with them or my manager or whoever, I want to get more tables in the future, so I gotta be nice. So I pull out the list and then I'm like, we have Blue Point Toasted, A Spot in Oktoberfest, Victory Golden Monkey, Lagunitas, Brooklyn Lager, Broken Pumpkin. And I said the whole thing. I'm not going to say the whole thing right now because honestly it's just too much. It's too much. We have a lot of beers. We have a lot of beers. So I read all of them. And you saw the list. It's at least 14 beers or so. And then they go, yeah, we're really sorry, but we're going to take the first beer you told us. You made me read that whole why didn't you stop me after I told you the first beer was Blue Point Toasted if you knew you wanted that? Honey. So I was like, fine. I'm getting notifications on my screen. Can you please go away? So I get them their drinks. And then I'm like, oh, you guys want to start off with any appetizers or anything? And then they're like, oh no, we're going to wait for the rest of the people to get here. That's fine. Okay, so just to give you like a timeline of where we are in this story so you don't get lost. Right now it's probably 6 because I started my shift at 4:30, sort of 5. But it was like a dead day. So nobody really came in until 6. So yeah, so they sat at 6 about. And I got them their drinks and everything, and it was like 6:10, not even really. So I'm waiting on my other tables, and my other tables are cool, except one table who was like, oh, I don't like this tea, can you take it back? And I'm like, okay. And then they asked for another tea, so I make them another tea. But everything else, the rest of my shift was like uneventful, except for this one 6-top. And let me get there. So I'm like, oh, you're gonna wait for them to come? That's fine, that's cool. Like, there's no issue if you want to wait for your friends to come before you start ordering all the food. That's cool. But I just want to know what went on in this group chat. Like, we're going to meet at such and such place at 6 p.m. And it's like, at this point, I literally, like, I'm in the back, like, just doing rounds. Like, just taking laps. Literally taking laps. Like, do you need anything? Are you sure? Like, you don't want me to get you anything? You don't need you want another beer? Blah, blah, blah. Yes, no, maybe so. You want an app while you wait? Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no. We want to wait for all the rest of the people to get here. So I'm like, that's fine. By this time, it's probably like 6:40, something like that. It's close to 7. So I'm sitting here like, when is the rest of the 6 going to get here? Because literally, it's just 2 guys drinking beer right now. Like, why did the hostess do this to me? Why? No offense to hostesses. I was a hostess for a couple of months and I know what the job is like. Trust me, honey. I know. So I literally go to the host stand, not to harass them or anything, because PSA, servers, don't go up to the host stand and start harassing your hosts. They don't get paid enough to deal with your BS. You're making like 8 times as much as they are. Show them some respect. Thank you. That's the end of that PSA. But my host stories are for another day. Y'all ain't ready for that one. Y'all ain't ready for that yet. Okay, so let's focus on the current thing at hand. I'm like just doing laps, just making sure they're okay, and they're just having like conversation. Like, they're not engaged in the restaurant at all. Like, they're drinking their beers. Like, it's a great time. So it's almost 7, and then like 3 girls walk in. And then they come sit down with them. Hi, my name is Tamara. I'll be taking care of you. I've been taking care of these gentlemen while you weren't here yet. You want me to get anything for you to drink? You want anything to start with? And then they were like, oh, yes, we'll start with blah, blah, blah. So then they're making like little modifications because like pumpkin beer or like a Brooklyn pumpkin, like that kind of beer. I know nothing about drinks, but I know this. And like, that's saying something, has like a little rim of like pumpkin on it. So the girl was like, oh, can I not have that? And then one of the other ladies was like, oh, I want that. Like, can I have the pumpkin beer, but I want the rim. So she changed her drink order, had to cross it out, and then she wants that instead, which is fine. If I ask for a burger and my friend is like, oh, yeah, I'll have the shrimp scampi with this and this, and that sounds better than what I ordered, I'm going to change my order. I'm sorry. So I had no issue with that. So I get them their drinks, the 3 ladies that just walked in, and all their drinks are set. And then I'm like, oh, do you guys want to start with apps? Because there's only one person who's not here yet. And then they're like, yeah, just give us a couple minutes to look at the menu. And I'm like, okay. So I go back to the station, and I'm taking care of my other tables at the same time, because this group, like this 6-top, can talk and talk and talk. And talk, honey. They can talk. Like, so I literally am like making laps, and I notice like they're really not looking at the menu. So I come back and I'm like, oh, do you guys know what app you want to put in or whatever? And then they were like, oh, and I'm like, I gave you like 15 minutes. You couldn't decide on an appetizer? You want potato skins or what? What are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? So literally everybody like pulls out their menu like, oh my gosh. Like, can you pick an app, please? This isn't hard. Do you want the app platter? I will give you an app platter. Of course, they end up getting an app platter, which I already knew. I should have just put the app platter in. So they get like a bunch of apps, like a platter and like a bunch of things for them to share. And it's cool. But I'm just thinking, like, if I'm the 6th person who's like on their way and I'm not there yet, and people are ordering apps and I don't get any, I want apps too. Hello. The apps come out later, like the food runners bring in the apps, because at my job, we have food runners on like certain days. So they bring out like the appetizers or whatever, and then they bring out all the food. They bring out the apps, they bring out the entrees, the desserts, all the stuff. All the food that comes out of the kitchen, they bring it out. But I go in there and I start like helping, and then what? We're bringing it to the six top, and then I asked them if everything's okay in like a couple minutes, and then they're like, yeah, everything's good, and they're eating it, everything's cool, and say at this time it's like 7:30, at least 7:30. And then I see them literally demolishing the apps. Like, these people were hungry. Like, you haven't had food all day? Come on now. So I'm like, okay, they're demolishing these apps. Let me ask them if they want entrees so I can put in the entree. Because when you work as a server, you have to space out the appetizers from the entree. So, you know, they're not waiting half an hour for their entrees to come out when their apps are done. But they're also not getting entrees when they've only had one potato skin out of the 8. So you have to like space it out in a way that makes sense. Feel me? Okay. So I go over there and ask what entrees they want, because they didn't tell me like initially. They just told me what apps they wanted. So I go up and then I'm like, oh, do you guys know what you want to eat like for an entree? And then a bunch of the ladies are like, why did you not look? It's like literally every time I come to ask them what they want to eat, that's when they want to pick up the menu and like peruse it. Like, why don't you know? Why don't you know? I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll give you a couple minutes. Like, it's fine. So I leave. Like, the apps were basically almost done. Like, they were just picking at little chicken bones at this point. So I'm over here trying to get them some entrees in a reasonable fashion. But it seems like, you know, that just wasn't on their radar that day. I usually wear glasses, so if you see these eye bags, just know this one is Michael Kors and this one is Chanel. You get it. I don't know why I just lost my whole train of thought. So basically I come back and it's like 8 something at this point. I'm gonna say it's like at least 8:15. So I go back and I'm not sure if these times are accurate, but I mean, literally this happened last week, so the memory is pretty fresh. I go over and I'm like, oh, do you guys know what you want to order for your entree yet? And then they're like, so I'm like, I'm gonna take that as a no. Literally all my other tables are just eating, chilling, don't eat anything else, probably gonna ask for the check in 20 minutes. Like, everybody else is just chilling, eating food, just chill. So I'm literally just like, can I get your entrees in? Is that okay? So I go and I ask them what they want, and then I'm stupid, guys. Like, I can't believe that I knew what I was getting into and I did this. So they're perusing the menu and they're like, I kind of am between, like, I'm between these 2 burgers. And what does my dumb self do? Oh, you know, we have a burger board on the wall right in front of your face that has like 12 more burgers for you to choose from because you're already indecisive, and I might as well give you more options. So this really can take all night. So then, God, yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. I really don't. I really don't know why I thought that was a good idea. The things I do, man. So then they're like, ooh, yeah, I didn't even see that. You know. So I'm like, why did I do this? This was a mistake. So basically, I start recommending things that I see people get a lot. I haven't eaten everything off of our menu yet because I'm new. I literally started like last week. Literally started last week as like my first day. This happened on my first day, all of this. So literally, like, I haven't eaten everything there yet, which is normal. Like, I don't know how many people have been to, you know, a restaurant and eat everything on the menu. But I know what people get a lot. Like, while I was doing training and while I was there before, I know what people get. I've seen people get a decent amount of things. Like, I've seen people get a lot of basic burgers and just add a bunch of toppings. So off the burger board, I'm like, oh, I know a lot of people get like this tuna burger, like something like that, or like a barbecue burger. And then they're like, ooh, that sounds good. And then when you are a server and you make a recommendation to a table, a lot of times they actually will be like, oh, she knows what she's talking about. She works here. She's eating the food. So I'm going to trust her and I'm going to take that. So a bunch of them take my suggestion and they all take burgers that I recommended. Like both of the guys get sandwiches and then everybody else gets a burger or a salad. So basically it was annoying to get them the salads because the people who were getting the salads literally were like, oh, can I have this salad, but I don't want this, but I want extra of this, and can I add this? And then her friend who got a different salad was like, oh, can I have that salad too, but I don't want that she wants, and can I take this off and add this? And I'm like, sure, but I'm still being nice, mind you, because Tamara trying to get a tip, you know? So I'm still being nice to them and everything. And I mean, like, honestly, it's really not that big of a deal. Like, this is literally me ordering out, truthfully. So I go and then I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Like, they weren't adding or taking up things that were like uncommon. Like, literally the girl was like, can I have like a house salad, but I want to add like steak. But she doesn't want like a certain dressing, like she wants to add a different dressing instead. So that's fine. So I put it in, and I'm sorry guys, I am a chronic sloucher and like my posture is just horrible. And I know older Tamara is gonna look back on me right now and she's gonna be like, why did you do that to me? So I put in their food, I put in their entrees, and the entrees were, other than that, like it was fine. So I got them their entrees and everything was fine. The entrees come out, they're eating them, everything is fine. Everything came out like perfect. Like the kitchen, A+. A+. So when they're almost done with their entrees, I asked them if they want dessert. And when I tell you, a lot of times when I ask people if they want dessert, they're like, ew, no, what? You saw what I just ate? I had apps and food and you're gonna try to offer me dessert? Stop being greedy. And I'm like, listen, just trying to up my checks a little, okay? So I asked them if they want dessert, and then of course, and I have to tell them there's no dessert menu, and they were like, oh, can you tell us the desserts? We have literally had to go through all the desserts, but we need a dessert menu, so I mean, it is what it is. So I go and I tell them the desserts. And then they're like, oh, we'll take this, this, and that. Like, a bunch of them start sharing them. So they ordered like 4 desserts to share, like, amongst the 6 of them, which is cool. So I go and I put in the desserts, and the person who makes the desserts went, like, MIA for a little while. So after, like, 15 minutes, I'm like, how long does it take to deliver a cheesecake? Literally, at this point, it's, like, 9. They've been here since 6. It's at least 9:30. Because I remember them sitting there for at least 3 hours. And then I'm sitting here like, they've been waiting on desserts for 20 minutes. So I go in, and then the guy who's making the desserts literally is not there. And I'm like, hello, I need this pie. Like, can you please? Where is the, I need pie, hello. So I go and I find him, and then I help like decorate it. You know, I put my little touch. I put little whipped cream and stuff, you know. I wash my hands, all right? Don't try to come at me. Don't come for me. I didn't send for you. So I put like little stuff, you know, I decorate it, make it look real nice. You know, I'm really trying to get this tip, honey. Really trying to get this tip, honey. So I do that. I'm sorry I keep playing with my hair. It's just, I'm not used to having all of this on my head. Is what it is. So I bring it out, and then like, ooh, yes. So they get all the food, and then so they're eating the dessert, and like I said, they're a talkative group. So eating the dessert literally took like 30 minutes. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I literally am just like, oh, do you guys need anything else? Or would you just like the check? So they're like, oh, we can just have the check. So I go away for like a minute or two. I think once he's in the bathroom, or like talk to one of the hosts. Because all the hostesses at my job are like super cool. So I went to go talk to them or use the bathroom or whatever. And then I come back. And then the busboy is like, your table wanted me to give you this. And it's like a bunch of like bills and then like 3 credit cards. So I'm like, oh, what did they say? And then he was like, oh, they want you to take the bills and take the bill off of the whole check. and then they want you to split the remaining balance on these 3 cards. So I'm assuming 3 of them paid in the bills and they brought it together, and then the rest of them just splitting the difference. So I'm like, okay. So I go in, and then it's my first day. So I'm sitting here like, how am I splitting this how am I splitting this 4 ways with the money and the credit cards? Because I didn't do it when I was training, because no 6-top did that. They literally just all pooled money together, put their tip, and they left. So I went to the computer, and then there are options for like 1/2, 1/3, 1 whatever. So I put in the money, and then I do the transaction, and I figure out how to put it on the cards. I had to get a manager because I was lost. I have to do the actual math by hand, by myself, like on my computer. Not my computer, no, on my phone. So I did it on my phone, and then it came out to like a certain thing. So the whole bill came out to $200+. Like, say it was like $210. I remember this so vividly because because this whole thing like made me so angry. So it comes up to $210 about. So I go and I drop off the slips, because when you pay on a credit card, there's like a slip for you to like pay the tip, so you can tip on your card, so you don't have to have cash, and then you sign it. And then there's a customer copy, and then there's a copy that we keep to like keep track of like the purchases, just in case somebody comes back and was like, oh, you charged me for this. We can say, oops, like you signed for it. So I put it all down and everything, and then literally like we stopped taking tables at like 10. We stopped, like everything's usually supposed to be done by like 10. The bar stays open, but we're supposed to be done by 10ish, something like that. I'm literally just like waiting for them to like sign their stuff. And then they finally get up, and it's like 10:30, no lie. And I'm just sitting here like, you are the only table in the restaurant. Does that not make you uncomfortable? And you know what time of like night it is, and you've been here since 6. Like, can you go home? So they leave, and I'm like, okay. So I go over to the table, like literally like 30 seconds after they leave, I literally skirt to the table. So I literally go to the table, and I sit down at one of the chairs, and then, you know, I'm picking up the receipts, and I'm trying to help like the busboy, like this is the last table, so I'm trying to help him like stack the plates and everything, but I'm just trying to get like the receipts like squared away so I don't lose them. So I look at all the receipts, and the first receipt says $8 for the tip, and then the guy signed it. So I'm like, okay. And then, mind you, when a check is $200, for every $100 your tip is supposed to be $20, because 20% of 100 is $20. 20 out of 100, 20%. Get it? Got it? Good. Remember that. So if it's $200, I'm supposed to get $40 out of these people if they're tipping 20%. Even if they're tipping like 15, I'm still supposed to get at least 25, 30, something like that. So I was supposed to make a good $30, $40. Easy. And then, so I look at the other slip. You guys. Tell me why the other guy, one of the other people who signed the credit card, literally wrote 0 for the tip and put a slash through it and signed it. Where'd they do that at? So literally, I look at the other credit card receipt, and they, in the tip area, put a line and signed it. When I tell you I was on a rampage. I literally had to sit there and take it. Like, this is my first day of serving, and you're gonna screw me over literally with a $200 check, and you're going to leave me not even $10? I don't want to sound entitled or anything, but I have to tip out the bar, the bussers, and then the people who run the food. So if I get terrible tips to take home, from my tips, I have to tip them out. So if I got $8 from them, and then I had like not a really good day, like I'm not walking home with a lot. So you know waitresses literally thrive on tips. So why would you do this to me? So I literally sit down, like I literally am sitting there like, And then one of the other servers, like, let's call him Joe. So Joe comes over and he's like, oh, did you make a good amount of money from them? Because he saw them and everything. And he knew, like, this check was going to be, like, big because they were ordering so much beer, so much stuff and everything. They leave a good tip. And I'm like, they left me $8. And he's like, what? And I'm like, they left me $8. And he's like, are you serious? Then he was like, are they still here? He was getting heated for me. I was like, Joe, you're the real MVP. He was like, are they still here? I'm going to go talk to them. That's not acceptable, blah, blah, blah. Like, they can't do that to you. And I'm like, no, Joe, like, it's fine. Don't even deal with it. I'm heated too, but I'm like, no, I don't want anybody to, you know, I don't want anybody to get hit today or anything like that. I'm just like, right. And then the busboy is like, are you sure? Like, there's no money on the busboy literally is just like, are you sure? There's no money on the table? Like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes, there's no money on the table. There's no money on this table. Both of their faces are just like. So I'm like, yeah. So I told my manager, and my manager was heated too. She was like, what? They were all supposed to tip like $8. If they all tipped $8, you would have been fine. Would have been way better than $8. So she's like, I can't believe they did that to you on your first day. And I'm like, I can't either. So I end up just checking out. I'm literally like disappointed at this point. I'm like, yo, I can't believe that just happened to me. And I can't believe, oh my gosh. And I gave them good service. Like, I can't even be like, there was a problem. There was no problem. We laughed, we joked, we had a great time. And, oh my gosh, wow. But best believe if they come back, I'm not taking the table. So, that's it. So, thanks for sticking around with me for story time, guys. I'm sorry if this video was kind of long. The way that I'm looking at this recording, I think I've been recording for half an hour. I didn't know the story was that in depth. But thanks for watching. Like the video if you liked it, or you liked me, or you think I'm pretty, or anything like that. Comment how you think the video was. Literally spam the comments. Just go for it. We are now teacup fam. You are now my teacups. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. you open the video and now you're one of us. You're just gonna have to love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Make sure that you subscribe if you want to see more of my face. I'm sorry I couldn't get that chit chat. Get ready with me, but honestly, I literally just like slap lotion on my face and like some Vaseline, and then I like brush out my eyebrows and do my edges and my hair and everything. But since my hair is in braids, I just kind of. You saw me literally put my hair in braids, so you got a little get ready with me, all right? You got a little get ready, all right? So, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Follow me on all my social media links below. I'll put it all in the description box if I figure out how to do that. I'm not sure how. I'm really new to this, guys. Cut me some slack. But I'll see you in the next video, and until then, stay blessed, guys. Bye.